Okay guys, so this piece, if you look at the dimensions here, 119.29. So the sheet's 10 foot and 3/4 by 48.5. So I can go in, spin, so I know that I'm not going to mess anything up. Got it right on the edge. So we need to roll it down to the other side. Make sure that that's ready. See how far out of square that is. That's just the factory edge. So I know it's slightly longer than 10 feet and slightly wider than 4 feet. So I get it just there. And I call that this position here. You can see that the crosshairs on that bottom left corner. So on the parameters, you can see here parameters. I need it to be a 1/4 inch, and that gives me the cut 1/4 inch. The cut speeds, torch height, piercing time. Floating height, I go with 3 inches in case a piece tips up. It should clear it. Takes a little longer, but it's kind of the way it works. So I think I can run it a little bit faster. Right now it's running 40 inches per minute. So I'm going to bump it up to 50. I'm going to bump it up to 50. Okay, regarding the parameters, you've got to set those so you can save your settings and call it a specific parameter like I did for the 1/4 inch. So those don't come with the program. It's a lot of trial and error to get it right, and then you save it as 1/4 inch material, and then you can go back to it every time, which makes it kind of cool. So if you're doing this or just starting out, keep a lot of notes when you make practice runs. Get your cuts really good. Take a note of where you're at. Save your records so that it's easy to go back to. Okay, so you can see here that the torch has run into one of the pieces. As this metal gets hot, it warps around. Sometimes it lifts up and it'll snag the end of that torch. It does have a breakaway, like a magnetic breakaway. It's supposed to stop the actual cutting, the plasma, but in this particular case, it kind of rode on the button that holds it in there because the torch head didn't actually fall off. Is why it kept running. But it's a great feature. It rarely happens, but it's a good example. Well, folks, there you have it. 4x10 sheet, cut up, non-stop, the Everlast. Works pretty good. Did have a couple of mishaps. It's all right, the software is pretty easy. Put it right back where you stop cutting and start cutting again from there. So I did make some adjustments. I bumped the speed up about 15 inches per minute from when I started. And it's
seems to be doing quite well.
All right, so now that we got the parts cut up, I'm gonna get them off the table, get them dried off, cleaned up, and get ready to take the carcass of the scrap piece of steel off, get the new sheet of steel on, and get change my consumables out and start the next sheet. Okay, so maybe you could see these, but it's apparent that this one is overheated, and the threads are kind of worn, and I can't tell by looking at this if the threads are melted into the torch head, or if they're just the torch head's melted into these threads. But either way, I'm having a hard time getting this one to thread in. Okay, so I can't get the electrode to screw back in there, and so obviously there's a problem. Looks like I'm kind of stuck. I don't have a tap. I don't even know what size it is. I'm worried if I try to, it's right on the end. So if I try to run a tap through there, what's gonna happen? Try to take it apart and see. So. Looks like it's threaded in there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Okay, what do you see in here? Looks like it's threaded in. It's threaded on this side. Man, I got an inch of threads there, man. So, looks like the head's probably replaceable. So I'm pretty disappointed, but I should have known better. I've not had any trouble with the plasma machine from Everlast. It's a Power Plasma 60i, I think it is. 60 amp, it did great. I needed a torch for the machine. The Everlast torch was not available for the CNC torch. So I bought one that was a 60 amp that was designed for one of the European 60 amp CNC torches. And I haven't even gone through a set of consumables. I'll show you. I think I bought a set of 50. And I have 12 left, 14 left. Probably wasn't even that many, it's probably 25, I don't know. But I've got tips, I've got those, I got all these tips. I haven't had to change my consumables one time since I've had that machine, this Lincoln. So, I don't know, the quality of the cuts on this stuff, they're not
they're not as good as you would expect. So I guess I'm gonna go price up a Hypertherm and see how much that's gonna run me. In the meantime, I gotta find another torch so I can get back on this project. You know, and this is just a hobby for me, so it's not like anybody's paying me to do this stuff. You know, I'm just kind of doing it because I enjoy it. Get a lot of enjoyment out of barbecue, and the barbecue, you know, machines that I make, people seem to enjoy. You know, I've essentially given away a few prototypes that I made, and everybody's real happy with them. But you know, I want to keep doing this and maybe build an actual business. But I'm gonna have to get some quality tools because this thing just isn't cutting it. You know, I cut up one sheet of 4x10 and, you know, totally destroyed the consumable, which is somewhat to be expected. I mean, they're not designed to last forever, but you know, you would think that you would wear the consumable parts out. These two little pieces here are probably about $5 each, so it's about $10 worth of consumable parts per sheet. You know, it's not terrible, but my goodness, when it wears out and it tears up a, you know, $350 torch, you know, it's ridiculous. It just burns me up, man. Burns me up. So anyway, we'll see you on the next one.